Cuphead is so boring, it makes me sleepy! So I found a mod that makes you fight 2 bosses at the same time. This is Cuphead, but there's 2 bosses. Cuphead, 2 bosses.
God damn. That shit was a fastball. Ow, I can't hit him. What? Mother. No. What? Wally, you cheap fuck. Get out of my way. Dude, I couldn't see that shit. That's not fair. You're fucking me. You're fucking me. Okay, wow, awesome. What the fuck hit? Oh my god. Okay, wow. Why would I even use an ult there? It's not like it mattered. That fucking baby covered everything.
Alright, quick summary of the rules. We will not be touching the DLC at all or using any DLC weapons. I will be starting on a fresh save file, and we will rank each boss on a tier list based on how difficult the fight was. Alright, we go ahead and do the first run and gun level to get a bunch of coins so I can buy the boomerang and the shotgun, my favorite weapon combination in the game. So we can fight our first boss, the Root Pack. Yeah, I won't lie, there's a reason it said first try. It's because these guys can't move and their attacks are slow. It's kind of easier than expert mode, so moving on to the slime. Even double the slime is still simple, so just simply dash through.
Oh yeah, no, I'm done.
I go ahead and do another running gun level so I can go ahead and buy the smoke bomb and grab Super Art 1 from the mausoleum. And then we get really philosophical.
Some of the best advice I've ever been given when I play fighting games was never be scared, because would you ever want your opponent to be scared? Even if your opponent's wrong, if they're confident, even if they're wrong, and they stay confident, that is way more dangerous than them being like slightly correct and scared, you know? If your opponent's scared, you're probably just gonna win.
And with only 1 HP remaining after barely scraping by the first 2 phases, we get to the final phase, which all he does is slam down like usual. So you just smoke dash, you win, and we move on to the blimp. Goopy was easy, so we make our way over to Hildeberg, who is honestly also a pushover, except her very overwhelming UFO attack. If the UFO is red, you have to immediately dash under it, but if it's brown, you have to stay back. Keeping track of the color each doubled UFO is really hard to do when there's doubled stars constantly shooting at you. But ultimately, she was easy, so we get to move on to Ribby and Croak. I will not lie to y'all, Aisle 1 has been mad easy so far, and Ribby and Croak is honestly just as a pushover, but they introduce a concept that has become near required to understand and master. We call this method synchronization. Synchronization is making sure you transition both bosses at the same time so you don't get overwhelmed by overlapping phases like this. Because bullets do not penetrate, you're kind of just trading hits on the 2 bosses every frame or so. Sometimes you'll end up doing way more damage to one boss than the other, and if they are moving, we'll get to that later. But for now, I just handle them decent, finish the fight, so I can move on to the real threat of Aisle 1. The flower. Now our favorite freaky flower fuck has 2 new things that we will once again have to get used to during this challenge. First off, we have his dreaded full screen frenzy, where the bosses use a combination of moves that literally cannot be dodged without using some form of invincibility, like Super 2. These will eventually become far more frequent throughout the rest of the challenge, but for now, we move on to his other ability, the abhorrent projectile panic. TLDR, they throw everything at you, their own projectiles, the kitchen sink, a dog, anything to just fill up the screen with nonsense. But unlike the former ability, you can actually dodge these if you just lock in. But locking in is kind of hard.
Are we old enough to admit that the Moon Lady's hot as fuck? Can we be, like, real for a second? Not this guy. Hildeberg?
Eventually I realized you can just camp the middle platform and boomerang all the ads, and everything past that phase is honestly just fine. And soon enough we get our win on what is currently our hardest boss so far. Let's just hope it stays that way. The flower boy was easy, so we look at aisle 1 and go, oh, and we get to move on to aisle 2. Now we can finally hop on double Baronas Von Bonbon at the same time Creature Island and egregious anger. Before we do that, I'd like to acknowledge that she has 5 minions that can team up with the also doubled other 5 minions. So there's, see, 5 times 5, but then there's like 3 separate phases, so that's about, 1 billion. These minions include the terrible Lord Backer, the conniving Candy Corn, Musky Chernikov, Greedy Gumball, Weasley Waffle. And don't forget about her castle, Whippet Cream Pup. I wish I... To keep it a buck with you, even doubled all these guys suck. But she has a brand new ability that we will once again see much more from future bosses. It is Lucky Lunacy. This is the Muffin Man. This overbaked bastard has a hitbox that hits half the screen immediately after zooming in a diagonal. If she combines that with another boss, I have little to no room to dodge, leading me to just get hit or just die. While this is currently a very minor problem, it'll ramp up to 1,000,000 on later bosses. Speaking of which, we beat the Baroness and move on to Peppy the Clown. First off, the Bippy brothers take up half the screen in the very first phase, and they can and will do their ram attacks at different times, along with double the amount of ducks filling the entire top half of the screen, making it really hard to just exist. But after learning to delay my jumps and smoke dashes as long as possible, I found a consistent timing to avoid everything in that phase, so forget about that. Let's just talk about this overlapping train. No room to stand anywhere, and double the amount of dog spawns, making it impossible to safely be anywhere in the air. All I can do is spam jump and boomerang to deal with the ads and pray I find a safe place to land. But forget about all that now, because now there's a stupid horse! You thought you weren't allowed to exist before, well buddy, now you gotta deal with both horse attacks and a double train, and everything sucks, there's nowhere to stand, and I fucking hate it here! Once I learned how to consistently beat the first and second phases, these horses were responsible for nearly every death. Alright, 1 hour, that's kind of an outlier, everything's okay. We just gotta hope for the next guy. This genie, this motherfucker right here, is one of the most luck-based fights we will see in the entire mod. Forget this first phase, I don't care about it, it's actually pretty easy. Look at this! Y'all remember that ability the flower had, Full Screen Frenzy? Well, that ability actually matters now that we're fighting Jimmy. The genie's second phase is that he spawns a wall that will have 5 segments, with 1 or 2 of the segments being its head. So you start out with a pillar that has either a coin flip on if it's 1 or 2 heads, and then you do another coin flip to see if you get the 1.5 out of 5 chance of even being able to make it through. That is a 30% chance success rate of even being able to make it through a single pillar. And then I had an attempt where I was even able to survive this section. Let's count how many pillars you have to go through. 1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pillars. And then I fumbled the only attempt where I got incredible luck and just had a downward spiral from there. Every attempt died to the wall, and even if it didn't die to the wall, I only had 1 HP and just died to a section I barely even got the chance to practice. Wait a minute! I have free will. Unlike the genie trapped in that stupid lamp, I will do something no other Cuphead player has ever done in their life. I'm gonna go get the Heart Charm. The Heart Charm gives you a 5% decrease in all of your damage, but you do get 1 more hit point. This allows us to live the pillar section even with the worst RNG. And after another 2 hours, will it be impossible or impossible for today, sire? I think I'll take the impossible. Kill yourself. His first phase is not that much different than base game, but they give you double the amount of pink birthday berries, so it's literally free. His second phase is actually kind of a problem, but if you do this little maneuver right here where you just go under, go back up, keep rotating over and over, you're all good, you're all good. Uh-oh, here comes his stupid Chungus son, Wally Warbles. Wally will just fly towards you with his fucking egg fortress like he's Dr. Robotnik.
Congratulations! Shut up! sus. Fuck Steven Universe.
A singular Wally will have 5 egg shields that you cannot shoot through. These shields will move outward and inward while he himself will move left and right across the screen. Now it's doubled. No matter what I did, no matter how many attempts I made, I just could not break through the wall.
Bring it on. Yo, when you come to it and you can't go through it and you can't knock it down, you know that you found the wall. No man on earth can make you fall. When you come to it and you can't go through it and you can't knock it down, you know that you found the wall. No man on earth can make you fall.
I genuinely could not beat Double Wally here. And then it hit me. What if we never fought Double Wally? In every other fight, you would get screwed over for not doing synchronization. But what if we just never synchronized them and just only fought one Wally the entire time and kept the other guy normal? Now this shit easy. This is just a bullet hell. I'm gonna eat him and his chud son. And after 2.5 hours, we finally eat our 20-piece McNugget, and we get to move on to the final boss of Aisle 2. Thankfully, they finally give me an easy fight. The dragon cannot move, so you're always doing consistent damage to both of them. You don't have to worry about them like coming towards you. They give you double the amount of clouds to maneuver around, and all their attacks are too slow to ever be overwhelming. In phase 2, it's the exact same thing. With the fire guys, you just do the exact same thing, but on twice the tempo. And on his final phase, he does spam a lot of orbs, which is the only thing that gave me trouble, but like, you pop your invincibility super, you do some consistent damage, and you're just fine. The lobber will just carry you. You just run away, throw a lobber, run away, throw a lobber. I also just realized I forgot to put any of these guys on a tier list, and there's no more room on my editing timeline, so bam, 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 awesome, cool. Aisle 2 sucked! Now we're finally on to Aisle 3. This is good news. We can finally be beat. In phase 1, 2 cops will go across the screen continuously and just place bombs. Smoke Dash and Lobber makes this extremely easy. So in phase 2, she has 3 moves. One where she goes to the middle and shoots bullets, one where she spawns a triangle that shoots projectiles out of its corners while going in a straight line towards the position you were when it was spawned in, or a circle that homes in on your current position. Double bullets is tough, but preferred so we can just watch them closely and dodge. We don't want any shapes to spawn during bullets because it'll be near impossible to dodge. Wait, why am I doing this? We can just use our newest technique that we stole from Wally, desynchronization. That useless ass cop can't do anything, we'll just ignore him the entire fight. Now the only part of this fight that can give me any trouble is her airplane form. Now in Cuphead, when a boss transitions, most of the time they're not able to take damage. This prevents them from dying in their next form before they can even transition. Rumor Honeybottoms does not have this protection, meaning if you just shoot her enough, she can die before she can even attack. We will use this to our advantage and end the fight before it even begins. The beat was easy, and I'm not even going to talk about Briny Beard. Briny Beard is free. If you've ever played base Cuphead, he's free. He belongs in Aisle 1, honestly. And doubled, he's still free. He sucks. He's ass. He's stupid. Moving on to... The Robots Phase 1 has 3 different hurt boxes that periodically attack and become a new attack when destroyed. He will not transition to Phase 2, showing his heart, till you destroy all 3. But here's the issue, this boss does not move, making them really inconsistent to synchronize. So there will always be some new issue to deal with every single attempt. His head shoots a laser at your current position and can be easily dodged. The real threat is it cutting off part of the screen from being accessed for a short period of time. The chest shoots a pillar that you have to double parry since there's 2 of them, but when destroyed will use a double magnet attack after, making it only barely possible to move in a mini-plane. The bottom shoots Galagas you can shoot down, but if not immediately dealt with will just lock you down atop of the screen till you get hit. With everything being doubled, there's little to no room to pivot towards the bottom of the screen, so deal with them immediately or you just lose. Once destroyed, it will spawn a homing missile that explodes when shot enough, and since they don't move, it's really hard to tell if you destroyed a section until you destroyed both of them. Otherwise, they'll overlap and make the fight awkward. Counterplay all this? Well, first damage the bottom midsection until they're low enough that a super will be guaranteed to kill both of them at the exact same time. Since the bottom summons a missile that explodes when it comes in contact with another missile, and those spawns are on set timings, they will cancel each other out the frame they spawn in. Then just go to the top, kill the lasers, and deal with the heart, making sure to ult it at the very end so it's synced once again. If they're desynced, you just lose. So to not get screwed over by the next respective phase, you have to do 3 synchronizations in a row. You have to synchronize the 3 segments on his first phase to open the heart, then you have to synchronize kill the heart to get to the head, and then you gotta synchronize kill the head or else his bullet spam phase will also be desynced, making it near impossible to dodge. But once you do that, once you get all of that down, you get your 3 synchronizations in a row, you just go mini plane until he stops shooting, and you just get your damage in and just repeat for as long as possible. If a wall gets in your way, you pray you have meter or else you're probably just going to get hit trying to transition to a safe position. But if you've got that meter, you spend it. You parry as many pinks as possible, you farm meter, and you win. In her first phase, her 3 main attacks are her set play projectile that goes towards your current position and sits on the ground for a short period. Her second move, and her teleport attack where all you have to do is smoke dash the moment you hear her laugh. In her second phase, she just has the 2 babies throw everything at us while she becomes a literal car manufacturer like, look at this shit, bro. I later realized that she will show up to the side of the stage that you are not on, so if you just stay on the right side, they will both end up on the left side, and go towards the middle of the screen if you stay on the right side and shoot from afar. And then the moment there's a million projectiles on the screen, I just pop my invincibility super, jump in the middle, and just shotgun them, and the phase is already over. Her Angel phase is just as easy as base game, but just twice the tempo, so who cares? And her final phase just sync up the umbrella, and once again, that's just base game. Let's clean it up, let's move on. Y'all ever been gambling? This fight is just that. Like, it literally has no skill expression, let me explain. Phase 1, the rat will either cherry bomb or shoot an array of projectiles, doing so while constantly moving back and forth as a moving hitbox. And lastly, a dash from one side of the screen to the other. His choices are random, so if only one dashes and the other stays and uses an actual move, this will happen. There's nowhere to go, and it means an instant reset if it happens. They do the dash attack about 1 or 2 times every attempt, averaging a 33% chance to even have a fight I won't have to reset, and if they aren't perfectly synced when you kill the first phase, they will use the flamethrower attack in the second phase in a way that literally hits the entire screen, making the phase impossible. Okay, well then fine, let's say we get the 33% chance and the synchronization. They'll alternate by going up and down and shooting a flamethrower covering the respective half of each screen, while the 12 bottle caps on each side move independently to cover each wall, occasionally making existing literally impossible if the game feels like it. So even if I do get past all the luck of the first phase, I have to get through all the luck of the second phase. My counter to the second phase is to just do what I did with Sally, super, go in and just spray as much damage as possible to minimize the amount of time I'm spent being forced to gamble. So after 4 hours of
let's go gambling! Aw, dang it! 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 Aw, dang it!
and then we finally get an attempt with perfect luck. They only dash one time and they do it at the exact same time. We get excellent bottle cap luck, they're perfectly synced, and the first time we finally make it to the cat, and we do not fumble. That was, without a doubt, the hardest fight in the game so far. But only 4 remain. Only 4 remain and we will have conquered Cuphead, but bosses are doubled. So let's go ahead and move on to Cala Maria. Now we thank God in heaven, because now I get to take 2 Cala Marias at the same time. And chat, listen to me. I know you saw how long this fight took, and I just want to say, this is the most fun I've ever had in Cuphead since I played it for the first time, like, what is it now, like 8 years? This fight is amazing. All of her moves and attacks, except the petrifying gaze, feels like they were designed to work seamlessly with one another, even doubled, making this just one super skill-expressive bullet hell. Now, let's go over all of her moves because there's a lot of them. Spike Turtle will travel to the middle of the screen and launch a spike ball that launches 8 smaller projectiles in different directions. He will fire one as he gets closer to the left and a last one at the end of the screen. Yellowfish fires a dolphin that homes in on you, then jumps out of her hand as an active hitbox. Pufferfish will rise from the bottom of the screen and will occasionally be parryable, which is great for meter. Ghost pop from her mouth towards the middle of the screen, then launch at your location in groups of 3. She uses this attack 3 bursts at a time. The Seahorse will launch you up with a large wind box. No damage, just makes it hard to have precise movement. Red Fish shoots 6 projectiles towards the left in different directions, repeating 2 more times until they jump out. Her using all these attacks together is always just the right amount of overwhelming but fair to be so much fun. However, second phase is really silly, she just summons a million fucking eels. But that's fine, honestly. Just save ult until she transitions to deal with all the eels, mash like your life depends on it anytime you get stunned, parry as much as possible, and end the phase as fast as possible, leading to the final phase, where you need to dodge the cave walls, spike walls, and floating orbs, all while she spams you twice as often. My strategy was just to stay as spaced as possible, allowing me to mash out if I ever get frozen, pass through the obstacle, and space again to repeat the process until I inevitably won. 3 remain. The Devil, the King, and for now, the Train. The Train is actually 4 mini-bosses, and the first one literally cannot get through my boomerang. The second one is a skeleton that spawns in the middle and smashes the left and right car, then will move to either the left side of the screen or the right side of the screen. This means that it is a 50-50 on if they will go to the same side. If they don't, you have to get hit. If they do, you can just close out the fight really fast and move on to the next phase. These organ things will shoot a laser from one side of the screen to the other, meaning once again it is a 50-50 on if you can even get through the section. If they attack on the same side, it's really easy to kill them, but if they don't, they just cover the entire screen. So there's 2 sections in a row that have a 50-50 on if you will get hit or not. Having to go through these 2 sections usually left me with such low enough HP that I would just lose to the final phase. But after winning our 50-50s, I finally close it out. To do the thing again, so Sally was easy. The Train, man. Robot, kill myself. Cala Maria was rough because she was fun, and I already killed myself. Let's be so fucking real right now. King Dice has 9 possible mini-bosses, with 3 being required to fight them, so you gotta fight 1 from 3 sets of 3. These bosses include the Drinks, Chips Bet Again, Smoker, Dominoes, Rabbit, Horse, Legs, 8-Ball, and Monkey. Our goal is to only fight the easiest ones, so Chips, Domino, and the 8-Ball, and then fight King Dice himself. Now I know what you might be thinking, because I'm thinking it too. What if a parryable card spawns on a non-parryable card at the very end of the fight? We will cross that bridge when we get there. Now additionally, 3 hearts spawn on the 3 sections of the board, so I just reset till at least 2 match our route. And assuming you don't already know, the dice is not actually random. It's a fixed speed so you can time it consistently to allow this route. For Chips, Smoke Dash just prevents his entire hole-in-the-wall gimmick. The Domino's treadmill gets doubled, so make sure that you dash over the spikes, and the shotgun will make light work of them. And the 8-Ball is the easiest boss in all of Cuphead. Even double, just use your eyes and that's way more than enough. So all I need for this fight to be winnable is for this card to be parryable. Yeah, this man's cooked. Kill this man.
King Dice was really easy actually. If you just take the correct route, you're pretty much just fighting the base game fight. But to get to the devil, we had to go through Wally, the Genie, Dr. Cal, the Rat, Cala Maria, and the Trade. It's almost over. It's almost over. I'm gonna kill this man.
Alright, let's go through all the Phase 1 attacks. Go Feet covers the bottom of the screen, so position yourself to dash towards the middle of the screen to dodge. If they both do this at slightly different timings using the EX card, the Air Stall. Demons will spawn after a visual indicator in the background and will attack from either side, or both because the game is doubled, but get one shot by boomerang, so easy to deal with. They just add clutter to the screen mostly, to be honest. Spinning Fire spins counterclockwise and moves towards the left and back to the right with a parryable fire in the middle. Tracking Fire sits still and shoots towards the current location of the player, with one of them being parryable. He can turn his head into a spider, then slam down, near, or on your location, so dash on reaction. Bouncing Balls summon 4 orbs that bounce around erratically, with one being parryable. Snake travels from one side to the other, covering the entire screen except the opposite corner, and in rare occasions, both bosses will do this attack at the same time, so you have to get hit unless you're invincible. Thankfully, this is a very rare occurrence. The snake attack also just led to me getting hit a lot since there's no room to dodge other attacks during it. That is every attack in Phase 1. So it's essentially just a really hard but fair fight, honestly. Everything is dodgeable and consistent besides Double Snake, and even then you have Super to deal with that. Phase 2 leads you with 5 platforms with rocks falling at random, an axe that spawns in the middle and does a weird circle repeatedly, and a bomb that will spawn on the left or right and when it explodes will cover half the screen. You can either parry it or just camp the opposite side and have half the screen to work with. In the next phase, he removes the 2 outer platforms and 2 demons on the left and right sides will spit skulls at us while these bird things swoop down. It was very annoying and overwhelming, but just like the entire fight so far, as long as you're locked in, it's so much fun. This fight is literally just one giant skill issue. There's like no luck in it at all, it's so much fun. And whenever you put it all together, you're just left with something so much fun and beautiful. And just like that, we did it. I did it. I beat Cuphead, but all bosses are doubled. What? Chicken Ninja already did this on expert mode and 200% of the game? I'll be back.